Well, I'm delighted today to be joined by Brenda Ainsworth at the Old Government House Hotel here in Guernsey. We're going to talk about Brenda's relocation story to this beautiful island of Guernsey. Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you, David.
So we're going to talk about your journey moving here and becoming resident on the island. First of all, it'd be great to hear a little bit about how long you've been living here.
My husband and I, we arrived on the 3rd of March, 2023, right. So we're 6 months in, and it's been an amazing journey. When we arrived, weather was a little bit dodgy, and when we did a visit March last year, we had perfect weather. But the locals did say to us, listen, this is not normal. This is not usual for Guernsey. We fell in love. But yeah, March.
So March 2022 was your first experience of the island?
It was, yeah. We did a little bit of a recce mission, spent just over a week here, just to take a look at our first experience of Guernsey.
And prior to that, you were familiar with Guernsey as a financial services centre, as a business hub, but it was the first time you'd made a trip back.
Indeed, in South Africa, Guernsey, very well known as a jurisdiction, but hadn't done a site visit ourselves. So yeah, last March was the first time we set foot in Guernsey.
And did you sort of tour around the island? Did you kind of explore a little bit? How did that first trip go? But you're obviously quite taken with the place.
Yeah, absolutely. We met with the Guernsey Relocation Services lady who took us around the island initially. It is a little daunting. You don't know where to start because everything's new. So she took us around, showed us the island, took us down some very narrow roads that would dual way, a little bit frightening there, but showed us a few of the key points. And then from there, she sent us to the bus terminus, got ourselves a bus ticket and navigated our way around for the rest of the tour, yeah.
And when you came back in the spring of 23, did you already have property accommodation sorted, or did you land and figure that out once you'd arrived here?
What we decided to do is we had absolutely no idea where we wanted to live. I had this preconceived idea that if I move into Guernsey, I want to be able to walk to work. So we knew that we wanted to be in and around St. Peter Port. But what we decided to do was go into temporary accommodation. Once we were here, we were able to order furniture. We didn't realize, things that we've learned along the way is you need to plan. To order anything in Guernsey can take 6, 8, 10 weeks. And we knew that we wanted a bed to sleep on and a couch to sit on. So
Where were you relocating from?
From Cape Town.
Okay, right.
And Liesel Esthuizen is South African, and she warned us. She said, South African furniture doesn't necessarily fit into Guernsey properties. So we decided to leave everything in South Africa and buy everything on the island.
Yeah, so you arrived with suitcases,
2 suitcases each.
Yeah.
2 suitcases and a broken hand luggage, yeah.
And so you rented a property to start with. Are you looking now at, have you bought property, or are you looking at,
we're
still trying to find out?
Still trying to find out. Me, in the later part of my working career, everything's been in South African rands, and property in British pounds in Guernsey is quite expensive. Yeah. So for now, renting, we staying in a beautiful house. We really are a lovely area. I do walk into town. There is a hill that always I need to face coming to work, but it's amazing.
Good exercise in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you've been to Candy Gardens.
I have actually, yeah.
My walk takes me through Candy Gardens, and you just stop, you pause outside Victor Hugo's statue in Candy Gardens, and you look at the view. Sometimes there's a cruise liner in the bay, sometimes it's just the open bay. It's
a lovely vista, isn't it, down, and you see the coast, and you see the islands as well opposite.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Very pretty.
Amazing.
So tell us a little bit more about your business and how, Guernsey features in that business life.
Okay, dokes. I'm in financial services. We have Irish collective asset management vehicles, ICAV funds in Ireland. And it's always been an idea for us when it became feasible, when we had enough assets under management, that we take a look at setting up a company globally to manage the funds. And we looked at the usual suspects. We looked at Luxembourg, we looked at Ireland, we looked at Guernsey. But what was key for us was the regulatory environment, proximity to London, proximity Ireland, to attend board meetings, and most importantly, quality of life for staff. We didn't want to what we did initially was we transferred staff. We brought myself across from South Africa with another portfolio manager, and then a portfolio manager from Mauritius, where we got advisory business set up. And if we were uprooting the families and bringing them to a different jurisdiction, we wanted to make sure that the quality of life was good, that they enjoyed living, not only working in Guernsey. So,
but there's also a close business cultural alignment, isn't there, between, say, South Africa and Guernsey? It's not like it's working in a very similar mode, isn't it? It's not like the continental European work approaches varies from the Anglo-Saxon approach, whereas you get more of a
So not only do you have the language barrier,
yeah.
you've got an environment, a financial services environment that's slightly different. Guernsey absolutely operates very similar to South Africa. It's a regulator, the Guernsey Financial Services Commission, who engages with industry. They're ready to meet with you when you want to meet with them. So very familiar with that working in South Africa. And it's recognized. It's well established. It's a mature regulatory environment, and that was very, very important to us. And also recognized by the Central Bank of Ireland, which was important if we needed to be approved or get approval from the CBI.
And I guess also you've got all the professional firms for that international finance sector on the doorstep ready to help, isn't it? Whether it's banking needs, corporate structuring, anything like that.
Absolutely.
So to have first-class services on your doorstep.
And they were so willing to help out. In our visit in March, what we did is we set up a few meetings. We set up with estate agents, a recruiter. We wanted to meet with auditing profession. So we met with it and attorneys, because we knew we needed these people, and a consulting company. And so we set up meetings. They were so engaging, so willing to help, reached out to us when we were back in South Africa. How can we help? And when we decided to pull the trigger, again, people were just so willing to step in and help us. It was, even though it's familiar, it's very different. And you've got to respect the differences in jurisdictions. And we've got to understand that we don't always know everything about the jurisdiction. So we needed hand-holding, and they were there.
Fantastic. And the financial services sector here in Guernsey is very dynamic. I mean, have you found that it's been interesting to meet other businesses in the sector and network with them, even where it's related to your business but not part of your core? Is there inspiration here for other people in the financial services world?
Definitely. It's been a little challenging from a time perspective, because setting up a company from scratch, from ordering the furniture, from signing the lease and getting to know the landlord, it's been time consuming. So putting in processes, getting the approval and making sure that we comply, it's taken a lot of time, and we still are almost finalized 6 months in.
Which is not long given how things normally take, to come from scratch.
Yeah, it's actually 5 months. We arrived a month before because I knew that I needed to start ordering office furniture if I wanted somebody to sit at a desk.
And your office is in central, in St. Peter Port. So you're right in town. And was finding office space was sort of relatively straightforward, was it?
It was. That's why we decided to meet with an estate agent. We weren't quite sure how easy or how difficult it was. We had a preconceived idea that we wanted to be in central Guernsey. We didn't want to be in the new district. Yeah. And sometimes finding office space as small as what we wanted, we realized that we only needed a small amount of space. And sometimes it's... First of all, we're moving from square meterage to square footage. That was a little bit of we need to rejig our thoughts there. That's why we decided to meet with the estate agent, take a look at physical size and say, this is what we're looking for. We want one meeting room, one office, etc. And leave him with our ideas so that he could continue his search while we went back to South Africa. And that's exactly what happened.
And they found the solution.
He took our brief and found the perfect location for us.
Fantastic. And what do you see of the lifestyle benefits of living here that you have done now across the last 6 months?
Oh boy. The walk to work, as I mentioned, I get to walk through Candy Gardens, and the mindset that I'm in when I get to the office is completely different to when you're working in a big city, when you're having to navigate traffic, when you're having to navigate thousands of other people trying to get to the same, traveling in the same direction as you. So the mindset, as soon as you arrive in the office, is chalk and cheese. for us, for me personally, my husband, to be able to look out a window and not have to look through burglar bars like we do in South Africa. The safety aspect, I don't have to worry about if I'm talking on my phone. Don't have to worry. The whole safety aspect
gives you a freedom because you can
absolutely.
do as you please, and it's not weighing on your mind either, is it?
That's
so liberating.
Absolutely, yeah. Not only that, even if you work a full day, there's still so much to do after it, and it takes you 5 minutes to get home. So,
what do you like to do for in your spare time? Obviously, you've had a busy time with your business trying to get established, but when you do get a moment, what do you like doing?
Well, what's nice now is being able to walk, go for walks. There's the cliff walks. I'm a little nervous of heights, so I haven't ventured too far. But we've taken a look at various areas around the island. We've gone to the west coast. We've gone down to Pettibone Bay, which is down St. Martin's Way. So we've taken a look at all the different areas in the island and walk. We brought our little dachshund across with us, and
fabulous.
Yeah, he enjoys the walks.
Have you got used to the narrow lanes by now?
Oh goodness,
yes.
So one thing that the taxi driver told us when we were driving back to the island, he said, if you do move here, don't get a new car because of what they call Guernsey rash.
Right.
The scraping down the side because of all the Guernsey granite on the side of the road. We did actually get a new car, and we still drive with trepidation sometimes, but yeah, getting used to it.
And you're settling in and making friends. You feel settled and positive about the move so far.
Indeed, we've met a wide array of people. We've met somebody who works in gardening, and we've met somebody in trust companies in our industry. Semi-retired. It's just we sat. There was a South Africa Day on Sunday at one of the hotels here, and there was a lady who was from I can't remember, somewhere in the UK, and she joined the South Africa Day.
Lovely.
And she sat and joined us. 75-year-old, was into painting, buying paintings for individuals. Lovely.
Yeah.
You don't get to meet all of those people everywhere.
Yeah, and I guess the relaxed atmosphere helps that kind of socialising because people feel at ease.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I know that Joe Stoddart at Relocate Guernsey was pivotal in your finding out the information and helping you decide to move. But I mean, how useful would you say, working or getting advice from someone like Joe at Relocate was for you in your move?
That was our first meeting that we made when we came last March. And actually, Joe and her team are absolutely, Lily and Emma are absolutely wonderful to work with. Also very engaging. You can ask so many questions, and they come back, smile on their face, and they respond. But what was key for us is Joe gave us a document just outlining what to do when you move to Guernsey. That formed the skeleton of our project plan to set up and relocate. So I wouldn't advise anybody to move to Guernsey without first touching sides with Relocate Guernsey. They were amazing, really they were.
Fantastic. And what have you had any of those moments when you've moved across now where you're thinking, I'm so glad we made this move? Is it triggered by a particular activity or moment that you think, gives you some inspiration and peace? And
walking I parked down at North Beach car park. It's a massive car park down at the seafront. Walking to the office every morning, past the seafront, looking at the seafront or the landscape, I pinch myself every day. It's like, I live here. I get to live here. And also when we take the walks down, it's hard to believe that we call this home. Really, yeah.
And you're going to be joining one of the fireside chat panels at the Relocate to Guernsey show in London next week.
Indeed.
Do you have any top tips for people considering a move based on your experience from the last 6 months?
Get in touch with Relocate Guernsey. Without a doubt. We worked with a relocation agent, and that was a game changer for us. Plan. You will experience delays. There are differences in jurisdictions. You plan, everything just fits into place. And so that was key for us. And dealing with the individuals on the ground here in Guernsey helped us. They know the environment. They know what needs to be done next. From consulting companies, from the attorneys, from the only thing that we really battled with remotely was establishing a bank account. That was a bit of a challenge for us. So we made other plans. So yeah, plan, respect the time frames it takes for each part of the project to be done, and make the move.